as a human being, we only have so much energy in a day, right? Especially for deep focus. Like you're probably limited if you're taking care of yourself, mind, body, and spirit. You're getting the sleep that you need. You're getting the alone time that you need. You're getting the exercise that you need, and whatever. In an optimal setting, if in a human in its optimal setting, sure, we're workhorses, right? Like we can work for 8 or 10 hours in a day, but really you're fine-tuned to about deep focus about 4 hours. You'll be like, hey, brewing up the conversation, blah blah blah, right? That'll be you. Or am I already introing?
We're already what's up, dude? You just did the intro for me. Beautiful. Yeah, my name's Chris. I'm a great conversation. So glad Danny has me on today. Oh, what's up, dude?
Oh, bro, living the life, man. Living the life. How about you?
I'm living the life. Having a good one, man. It's nice to see your face. It's been way too long.
It has been, bro. It has been, man. For those of you that don't know me, name's Danny, alias Danny Teo, Impressor, Defender of the Mist, Canadian born, Canadian living, trying to get my buddy Chris to come to Canada permanently, that kind of thing.
Yeah, right. You guys got crazy.
When are you moving to Texas? You gonna move to Texas? You still up in North Carolina?
Yeah, Texas sounds fun.
How's that?
Are you trying to move to Texas?
I don't think I was about to say I don't think I could afford it, but actually, realistically, if I moved to Texas, I could probably buy 2 houses for the price I'm going to pay for one down here.
What is the price of a house? Like where you're at?
Well, right now it's nice.
Huh?
Sorry, go ahead.
Are you still in the same place ish?
No,
like
so
Central?
Yeah, kind of. So I'm still in Ontario. So like the last 6-7 years, I was up in the GTA, Greater Toronto area, not in Toronto, thank God. But no, I moved back. I ditched that job. Well, I had a plan, right? My plan, I moved there. I had a 5-year plan. I always promised myself a 5-year plan. I wanted to essentially build myself up in the career path out there, make the GTA wage, and then transfer that back to London, which at the time, when I thought about this grandiose idea, would have been like, I would have been set. And then obviously 5 years worth of inflation, I went to lesson there. But still though, like in terms of like salary wise and stuff, like doing better than the average Londoner in my career, so that's good, yeah. I guess. But yeah, so no, I moved back to London. Was back in with the parents for a bit, save some cash, a little investing. Also help kind of get my mind right a little bit, get focused on some other stuff that I wanted to get into, focus less so much on the career and more on my own stuff, like, what are my financial aspirations and just like other personal goals that I was kind of ignoring when I was up there. Again, which is fine. That was up there. The focus was the career, solely on the career. It was grind. But I think
there's a really big one. What's the big one that you've been doing?
Photography.
There it is.
That's the big one. Now you're into it too.
Yeah, you got me in it.
Aspiring
I got the camera back there.
Like it.
I got the camera right there. Sony A6400.
There you go.
Got that lens.
That's a good machine, man. That's a good machine.
It is. It's a nice machine. I need to get things set up here so I can
you
be using that.
You need to get it up there.
Yeah, instead of the little Logitech webcam.
Yeah, we're gonna help you. We're gonna help you out with that. We're gonna help you out with that after this.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna set you up. Yeah, I know photography's been great. Photography actually for me was always like a thing. Sometimes you kind of find that thing where you're like, holy crap, I was actually always passionate about this, and you sort of just ignored it. Because one day I was like thinking about it, and I kind of went back in my life, and I realized whenever I was buying a phone, I was always getting whatever phone had like the best camera out that you could get. Wasting a crap ton of money on that too. What a stupid thing to do. But yeah, so it's just funny. One day I was like scrolling through just past photos and trips and stuff that I had. And I kind of came to the realization that, it'd be cool to actually put some money into like a DSLR or some sort of higher end camera. Actually, what really sparked it was when I bought my dog, because I had this grandiose idea that I was going to make this Instagram a page for my dog, and he was going to make me rich and famous. And
where's the pup?
I actually barely post. Where is he? Come here, buddy. Come say hi to the fans.
Loki, right?
Oh, he's behind me. He's behind me the whole time. Oh no, he wasn't. Here, buddy. Look. Here, you gotta come this way. Yeah, there is a big guy. I'm gonna be pulling again now. So this is Loki. This is my pal Loki. Yeah. The big white wolf. White German Shepherd. Have you seen these things in this breed in the States? It's supposed to be more common in the States than you find here.
Not really. I mean, it's probably more common in the colder areas, I would imagine.
You big dummy. Yeah, he's a big sucker. Yeah, no, he's from the U.S. I don't know where, really? But he is U.S. born. Yeah, yeah. So the breeders essentially they German Sheddards. The breeders essentially they bought him to breed with actually, and one of his testicles never dropped, so legally they couldn't breed with him. And they had some other unfortunate circumstances. So they were planning on keeping him, but then one of their kids was diagnosed with leukemia. So that was a kind of slap in the face for them. So I think they just, with all that going on, and then they already had all the dogs. They have a big farm too. They're actually about an hour north of where I live. But they, I think it was just better that they just didn't have the time. So when I went to actually go buy one of these dogs, I didn't even know he existed. I was looking at puppies. He was 6 months at the time. And I got to this farm, and he was outside by himself. Then he came up to me, said hi, very shy. You can tell like right away, like he was like, and he is shy with humans. He's like very selective about who he goes to say hi to. Very friendly, super friendly dog, but he's just, I don't know, skittish a little bit, I guess. But anyways, so he came up, said hi, super friendly. He was kind of sticking around. Went to the door. Knocked on the door, went inside, took a look at the puppies, was chatting up with the breeders there, and they asked me like, okay, well, which puppy do you want? And I looked at them, I was like, any chance that guy outside is up for grabs? And she goes, actually, yeah, he is actually, but we weren't advertising him because they gave me this whole story about what was happening, about how they got him and whatever, and she was like, he's just such a gentle soul, and he's like a lot different mannerisms than the other dogs, and we just like we didn't put him up because we wanted to, if we were going to sell him, we just wanted to make sure it was going to go to somebody that would to do a good job taking care of him, and that kind of had a connection. And she actually said, she's like, he's never gone up to say hi to somebody before ever. And she's like, I saw that he went up. She saw like from out the window or whatever when I got there. Well, I had texted them saying, hey, pulling into the driveway. So anyways, she was looking out the window, I guess, and she saw the interaction. So she's like, actually, he's never done that to anyone before. She's like, if you are interested, we could talk.
That's
so
cool.
Anyways, did some negotiations and brought him home that day. And I was so unprepared to buy a dog, dude. It was hilarious. I had no leash, no collar, nothing. I put him in, and I'm not thinking in my head either. Like this dog's been in the car maybe when he was like 8 weeks old to get shipped from the States to Canada, and that was it. And and anyways. So I load him into my truck. I started driving back to Newmarket where I was living at the time. It's like a 2-hour drive. And this dog just starts shitting, pissing in the backseat like crazy. I got no seat covers. I got nothing to clean it. Like, holy crap! And then he's like freaking. He's stressed. Because even their vet, when they would get the needles, their vet came to the farm. They didn't bring him out. So that dog literally just like never left the farm. So it's a total shock for him.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's funny. So I remember at one point I was on Highway 9 and I pull over to the side because I needed like his poo smells, well, still does so bad. He's got a ranky dank poo. But anyways, so I got out of the truck and went around the back to clean it, and then he jumps out the back. And next thing you know, I'm chasing this dog down Highway 9, praying to God he's not going to cross the road and get smoked. And I literally tackled him. I don't even know how I caught up to him because I was fat as hell at the time. I just tackled him, picked him up and brought him back in the truck and didn't even clean the poop. That was it. And then anyway, so we just suffered through it. Got home, cleaned him up, and we've been best friends ever since. So that's me and Loki's story. But that was a little bit sidetracked there. But yeah, so anyways, I wanted to actually, and interesting thing too. The only other so well now he's better. Like again with humans, just through interaction and getting used to people, he'll kind of go up and say hi and stuff. But when I first got him, the first like 3 or 4 weeks, when my friends came over to meet him, or I was kind of taking him for walks or bringing him to the dog parks, again, always like he never approached another human being, right? They'd have to approach him. Oddly enough, when I went home for the first time to go see my parents, brought the dog, and he did the same thing with my mom. He now he loves my mom. He's in love with her, but kind of like, you know, not really, like, just a little skittish. But with my dad, bro, boom, instantly went right to him. Interesting, eh?
That's cool.
So they got some kind of sense there. Got some kind of sense of some sort of I believe anyway, some sort of greater connection between the three of us. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, anyway, so got the dog, wanted to start the Instagram account for the dog, got the Instagram account for the dog. Actually, I do have some pretty cool photos. I'm not gonna lie. Like I think actually, yeah, some of my best work is probably on his account. But yeah, no. And then anyway, so that was kind of motivation. Bought my first camera, which was the A6000. Used it for about a year and then stopped using it. I don't know why. I kind of just, my mind wasn't right. I was focused on the wrong stuff. And then when I moved back to London, I thought to myself, you know what? Like, no, I'm really gonna focus on this. So I did some upgrading and actually made sure I dedicated time to doing this. And this year, my goal is to actually monetize. Last year was the year of investment. And as you know, or you're starting to find out, it ain't cheap. Oh, yeah. It's not a cheap, not a cheap hobby, but no. But and then so this year, kind of got everything that I need now. So this year, yeah, I really want to monetize it. I think I'm just going to start simple with just doing some wedding photography, stuff like that, and then hopefully start selling some prints. Actually, last year I made a little bit of money right near the end of the year, just actually shooting, taking photos of people's Airbnbs. That's actually that's a lucrative business, man. I didn't even realize. Really? And it's funny too, because you can just look at what people are charging and undercut them by like $100 because you're an amateur, and then people will pay you. So it's like, it's just a funny industry, right? And again, once you have the tools you need, you're basically set. So yeah, nothing crazy, but you can almost charge, like, to be honest, like you can almost charge like probably $250 to do a house, for example. And in all seriousness, after taking the photos and doing editing, especially if you've already got your presets saved, you're probably looking at putting in maybe an hour max into it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, so the wedding photography thing, wedding photography, it'll be a little bit less because I'll probably end up working for somebody directly, like a company. I'd like to eventually work as my own, like, my brand is DT Shoots. So that's what I'm going to go with. That's it'll be DT Shoots wildlife, DT Shoots nature, DT Shoots weddings, DT Shoots whatever. But that's going to be my brand. So eventually I'd like to actually work maybe like third party, or like almost like not a consultant, but that's sort of same sort of thing. Like, company could hire me. I'll be a second photographer sort of thing if they need the help. But that's kind of long-term goal.
As you move forward, I'm about to pull it up real quick because I want to pull up my favorite picture that you've taken. You haven't started selling prints yet, right? Because I know I've blown you up about that to try to get some of those.
Yeah, no, I've had a couple guys that have actually, some people at work that have been interested. So I would imagine this year I could probably sell a few. There's actually, I've had interest on the one photo I've got of the moon. A couple guys have asked me for that one. There was some of the bear shots that I've got. Oh yeah, you like that one? That's the
that might not focus on
actually. You know what's cool though? That photo, Chris. I took that on my Samsung S3.
Really?
Yeah, that photo was taken in 2015 when I was in Portugal. That's in Porto, out at the docks. Yeah, I took that with my S20 or my S3.
Here's another. This doesn't do it justice. Like, of course, I'll in the description and everything for this stuff, I'll be putting all your handles in there, whatnot, so people can see. But I mean, you've captured some incredible moments, which leads me to my question: what is about it that, like, what about photography drew you into it?
Honestly, man, it's there's few things in my life that I've been able to do where I can just completely shut my brain off, where you just tune out everything, every thought, every stress. anything, whether it's a good thought, bad thought, whatever, and just totally present yourself into that moment. Photography has been that for me. And again, it was just something I didn't really realize until later on, and I thought to myself, I was like, wow, like this is I really like doing this. Like, this is awesome. Like, and I think that's like if I get up and if I get out of bed and I'm like, I don't think I could ever plan to say, hey, you know what, this weekend I'm gonna go out, sit in a forest for 6 hours on a chair with my tripod and the camera, and maybe something might not even come through, and like I will wake up and I will not feel unmotivated to go do that. You know, like you know, and it's like this. Like I love the gym, for example, but there's days, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. And you go anyways because the discipline and whatever. But
yeah.
But man, for photography, no. Like I just anytime I make that plan, it's like no, that's my time. I'm going. I guess maybe what it was too is I started getting into like meditation a couple of years ago. And then I kind of realized like meditating doesn't have to be sitting down with your eyes closed, ignoring your thoughts and focusing on your breathing. You know, maybe it could be something else. And yeah, I think that's kind of what photography's kind of become for me. It's in that same sort of extent, right? So
yeah. You're able to capture that moment. Like,
hold on a second.
You're in nature.
I lost my. Sorry, this is a blooper. I lost my audio here. One sec.
Oh, perfect.
These damn computers. Technology in there. Hold on a second here. Technical difficulties.
Beep boop boop bop.
Get that Bluetooth.
Beep boop boop bop. Can you hear me? Guess you can't hear me.
This is where you cue in like the Jeopardy music or some sort of like funny song.
I think there is
soothing
something
music.
actually.
Oh yeah, we're good. Okay, I got you back. Sorry about that.
Well,
I gotta go back in that Stone Age here and get freaking wired. Jesus.
While you were doing that, I did find they have some of these things. So let's give it up for Danny.
Thank you. You're too kind. You're too kind.
Oh, there goes again. Right.
That's awesome. Is that like a soundboard thing that this Riverside app's got?
Yeah, it's got a few things.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, at first I realized that I was clicking the preview and I was like talking to everybody while I was doing that, and nothing was actually happening. So that was kind of cringy. I'm not going to put that in there. But yeah, getting back into what you were saying though, it's interesting when you get out there and you're in that moment in nature. That is your moment, right? When you capture that picture, no one else has that picture.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's yours.
And you know what? And I'm so happy you said that because like a lot of people don't realize that, and that's what it is, right? Like even my handle on Instagram, it was like I really thought about that. I was like, what do I want to make that? And I know it's something along the lines of capturing this plane's beauty like one shutter at a time. That's really what it is, especially when you look at other people's pictures that they're snapping, like that's their reality. You get to perceive their reality at that given moment, and no one else got to share that, and it's cool too. Like when I caption my photos, I try to like think at the time when I take that shot, or when I've taken that shot, when I'm choosing what ones I want to upload and I caption that photo, I try to kind of almost like put what was going through my head at the time when I take that shot, or what that reminds me of. Like really what it is, it's art, right? It's poetry in motion. Yeah, that's I'm really happy you said that. Actually, a lot of people don't catch on to that. So you're a natural born photographer yourself, bro. That's why you got into this.
Just a little bit deeper level of thinking. But before we move on, what are we drinking? What are you about to put in your mouth right now?
I was thinking about that for the last 10 minutes, and I was trying not to blurt it out. So we're on the kombucha grind. I'm a bit of a hippie. Do you like that? How's
Oh, I love it. I love it. Everyone can't stand it. I love it. I mean, my top Synergy's the best. I like Health Aid too. Mm-hmm. Only thing, if anyone ever wants to try this, it says to like do not shake it, like roll it to get it all like all the everything moved around. There goes the dogs. Great.
That's all right, man.
It will explode on you, so be careful. These things are dangerous.
Yeah, do not shake.
No, ginger aid's my favorite. Trilogy's good, and then gingerberry's good. So good choice.
Yeah, the ginger. Actually, I think the favorite one I had so far was probably the mango, but the sugar content is so high.
Mango.
The sugar content's so high, so stay away. That's like my guilty pleasure. But the ginger ale, man, ginger ale is so good. The ginger ale's amazing.
Super good.
Yeah, but yeah, this is the gingerberry. Actually, I just bought this one yesterday, actually, for the first time. And I took a sip of it. It's like, whoa, that one's good. That one's really good. So
It's pretty smooth for a kombucha. It doesn't have that like extreme bite that a lot of them do. It's very mellow.
Yeah, that's what I like about it too. I've actually had raw kombucha. I was at kind of like a flea market sort of thing, and there was a guy selling it there. And man, that's some potent stuff. I liked it, but that's not for the faint of heart. That's for sure.
You ever had the alcoholic kombucha, like meant for boozing?
Yeah. I tried one because it's funny. So when I moved back to London, my mind was like going everywhere, and I'm like, oh, I gotta start a business. I gotta build a business. I gotta do something. I gotta get into a niche market. And I was like thinking to myself, like, yo, it'd be cool to make my own kombucha and figure out a way to infuse it with alcohol, and then see if I can. Because there's companies in London that will brand like they'll bottle if you have alcohol. I actually got the idea from my neighbor because he's doing it. He's making his own beer. He grows his own hops and stuff in the backyard there and stuff, and then he uses this company to bottle it, and then he gets his brand printed. Anyways, that's where I got the idea from. I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. So then I went to the LCBO because I wanted to see if there was so LCBO for you state goers. That's the Liquor Control Board of Ontario, because gotta love Canada controlling everything. That damn government, Trudeau. Anyways, LCBOs where we buy our booze from. You get taxed like freaking heathens. Anyways, so I went there to buy my drink and or to see if there's anything on the shelf, and there was like way more than I thought there was going to be. So I kind of threw that idea out the window. But yeah, so I did buy one. I don't remember the brand. It was all right. It didn't really taste that much like kombucha to me. Like it was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
it was all right.
It's different. But if you get the chance to have the Flying Embers Mimosa one, I don't know where it's based out of, but that is, I might have to just I don't know if I can mail you that. I don't know if Trudeau will fucking get that thing locked up and send us both to jail. But
I'll take Trudeau. I'll put him in one of these.
One of those.
Don't worry. Get that guy out of here.
We don't talk about this too much, but I want to get back to how we met. We talked about it maybe a handful of times because that was 2014 or 13. I think it was 14 though. I was getting ready.
I think it may have been earlier because I'm thinking 2012.
No.
Yeah, because I graduated college in 2015, and my program was a 3-year program.
Yeah, and we were both in school.
Yeah, but I knew. Yeah, so okay, so first we'll say it. It was we met each other through Guild Wars 2.
Oh yeah,
and
Guild networking.
That's
actually,
right, man.
Let me pull this up. And the guy who got me this is going to be coming on the podcast soon. But let me just pull this up real quick.
Let's see it. I'm excited. Yes, I still can't believe you got one of those. Like only, it's actually so cool that you got one. Anyways, it's awesome. Dude, I forgot you had that thing. You gotta get your name on the back of that.
It's on there.
Something. Okay, nice.
So so we met in Guild Wars 2. I recruited you and this guy named John to the guild. And you guys did not want to join the guild. I remember that. You guys were like, no, I'm not joining the guild, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, trust me. You want to join this. Like,
You're persistent.
Oh, yeah. It's the best community ever in a video game. It's not what you think. And then, I want to hear your perspective of what it was like to join the guild, get into TeamSpeak, meet people. I want to hear your perspective of that.
Yeah, so it was cool. So I because I grew up, I was a nerd. I grew up playing MMOs, World of Warcraft, Lord of the Rings Online, RuneScape, whatever. So I had my fill of guild, and I played Guild Wars 1. So I had my fill of guilds. And my experience with guilds was there was always just drama. And it was a great idea because, like you said, community building and stuff. But maybe I just had bad experiences. So I had a negative perception based around it. So I remember I was in
Heart of the Mist.
No, I think it was in. It's funny that I can recall this, but I think it was in the Vigil's Keep or whatever. Remember if you were yeah, I think I was there, and then you messaged me. And you were, because I don't think I had a guild tag or whatever, right? And then you messaged me seeing if I was interested, and I was like, no, man, whatever. It's like, I remember I explained that to you. yeah, like it's just drama and whatever. Not interested. And that's I'll add you as a friend though. We can game and we can chill and shit. But anyways, and you're like, no, trust me. This is different. This is a good group of people. We came from Guild Wars 1, moved over here from Guild Wars 2. And I do remember actually you were like telling me too that there was like, I think at one point you guys had a little bit more people in the guild, but you kind of had a split. So like whatever negative energy that was there dispersed, and it was just positive energy. I was like, okay, whatever. This guy's freaking. He really wants to. And I'm like, whatever. If I don't like it, I'm just gonna quit and never talk to the guy again. So, so I joined it. And yeah, man, it was cool, bro. Like I think I can't remember everyone's name at the time that was in there. Is it going back a while? But I remember there was. Like Creek was in there, Switch was in there, Jeff was in there, Tyler was in there. I remember that one girl. I think her name was like I don't remember her actual name. Her name was Kata or whatever. She was in there, and then there was that one guy. He was like the Guild Wars god. What was his name?
Zoda.
Zoda, yeah, Zoda. He was cool,
dude.
He was really cool, dude.
I'll never forget that guy.
Yeah, and so it was cool. It was a close knit community. You guys weren't like we weren't like thousands of people. I think like maybe at like all on at once, like usually like maybe the cap, like, or not the cap, like the highest people we see was like in the 30 to 50 range, but it was just like, yeah, it was cool, man. Mm-hmm. Everyone was friendly. We were always in the team speak and like getting to like, it was cool. Like getting to actually hear the guy, like everyone's voice. Like I remember when I talked to you, I was like, oh, yo, this guy's freaking. I don't know why I didn't think you were going to sound like that. But and then well, I don't know.
What do I sound like?
You're just like, oh, you're just like, I don't know, maybe like me, like kind of like a Squidwardy voice, but like a nerdy sort of thing.
What?
But you got a sexy ass voice, boy. Yeah, that's it, buddy. That's it.
We'll start a podcast.
That's it, buddy. That's it. You got the voice. The gift of the gab. They say you got the gift of the gab. But yeah, so that was really cool, man. It totally changed my perspective. I've actually never joined a guild again after that in any game that I've played. That was once kind of everyone kind of parted ways with the game and started doing like adult things, which I probably should have done too, but I didn't. I kind of learned that a little bit later on.
You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it was cool, man. And then like we started like talking on different like Discord apps and stuff like that, and then we actually started getting on the webcams. We got to put the face to the name. Yeah, man, that was cool. That was actually really cool. I enjoyed that, and we were doing the PvP. What was that one guy too? He was a cool dude. He kind of used a little bit of a hothead sometimes, but
Nikki, he was really good.
No, I think it was. I want to say his name was Tyler too, baby. But he was like you played Counter-Strike sometimes with him, and he was like a rapper, like he liked to rap.
Oh my god, Ty.
Yeah, Ty, that guy. I think I still have him. I think I still have him on social media or whatever. But I always thought he was pretty cool. I like Ty.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's what gave it
away, yeah. So, but yeah, it was funny. And then like I said, like just doing the PvP. And then I remember we tried raiding and we got our asses kicked in raids. And like, I don't think we ever beat it. Yeah, we never beat that raid. But yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was cool, and it was just like there was like it's exactly how you preached it. It was just positive energy in there. There wasn't negative stuff, I mean, kudos to you too, because you were the leader behind it. You built that. That's speaks a lot to your character. Look what you do today, right? So I know you haven't read the book yet, but Outliers. If you read that, like I recommended, you should. And anyone listening to this, read Outliers. You'll thank me later. It's 10,000 hour rule. So at a very young age, you were building guilds, building communities, and leading people and managing people, and it's obviously led you down the career path you've gone through thus far, right? So, yeah, but yeah, man, it's really cool.
It's crazy to sorry, the dogs are going nuts. It's crazy to look back and think I was just graduated high school. I was 18 years old. This game just came out that I had been praying for years, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna start a guild. And I remember I recruited Cap, who was like my first recruit ever. I actually still talk to him on Snapchat. He's a nurse up in DC. I should send this to him. He'd probably appreciate this. Yeah, he helped me recruit too. But I remember sitting there, coming up with fun recruitment messages to just blast and hitting up everybody. It was my goal to build the coolest community because everyone had one thing in common, and that's we all enjoyed Guild Wars. We all enjoyed an MMO. We all had an escape in a game. Yeah. And if we could come together, everyone would meet people, and it would just be such a cool experience. And it was. And then I mean, that was started that in 2012. Really, we started the guild in like 2010 in Guild Wars 1, but then we moved it on, of course. And the peak was like 300 people, I think, in the guild. And it had like 3 officers. And that was just crazy. Like, I'm 19 then, and I have like building this pretty large community. Like on the website, we had 150 people signed up. Like, had people that made the game. So I got the jersey. Like in the game. Like, what is going on? And then that built relationships that we're doing now. Like, we actually kind of full circle had that Guild Wars 2 podcast, the Derman Diary, with me, Jeff, and Ryan that you came on. Worked together in the fitness, and now here we are, and we've stayed in contact for
years, man.
Almost 10 years, almost a decade.
Any serious relationship I've been in, the girlfriend at the time they knew you, even my new girlfriend, I tell her all about you now too. But this is the one you're going to meet. This is the actual one you're going to meet.
Is this the one?
This is the one. Well, we're early, but she's good, man. She's good. I love this
I'm
one.
happy for you,
She's good.
man. She's lucky.
Thanks,
she
bro.
better take care of you.
She's good shit. She's good shit. Yeah, it was cool actually. I was telling her about this podcast. Well, she already knew about you from before, because I think the first time she asked about you was she was like, "Oh, your friend on Instagram. He's always like wanted to buy your pinch and stuff. Like he's like, he really supports you on this." I was like, "Yeah, that's Chris." So I gave her the whole background and of how we met, and like to her it was so foreign. She's like, "What? Like, dude, video game? Like, how do you know he's not a rapist or something?" I was like, "Nah, trust me, he's not." And I told her how like you and I we actually put some sort of plan in place to try to, like, I think it was back in like 2016.
It was Arnold.
Yeah, we were thinking about doing Arnold or
which is going on right now.
Yeah, that's right. And it never materialized, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll make something happen. We're adults now, and we should actually, man. Actually, first I gotta get my passport. I've been really slacking on that. You know, that's a good thing. That's a good thing about my girlfriend. Is she's on me, man. She's on me for the shit that I need people to be on me about for. So that's good. So I gotta get that. Yeah, I gotta get that thing sorted. That's easy. I'm just lazy and I haven't filled out the form. Actually, she went as far as to fill out the form for me. All I need to do now is just get like addresses and like so I have to have like 2 references. Like from, it can't be family, it's gotta be friends or people you know.
I'll do it
too. But you have to be Canadian citizen, so it won't work. But they've got anyways, I got my 2 buddies that are and now they're like, "Yo, are you gonna like tell me what information you need?" Or and I'm like, "Okay," because I think so. My girlfriend's name's Haley. I think Haley might be like maybe harassing them in the back end. Be like, "Hey, push it, make sure you get that shit done." So anyways, that's good. But yeah, we got to meet, man. We got to meet. I told her that. I said we're gonna, like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Dude, I just support, and I think that's why I enjoyed building the community, because I love, as I say in almost every episode of this, I love knowing what makes people tick. I love knowing what people love. I just love getting to know people, and that's what made it so enjoyable. And like getting to know you and what you're passionate about, I've always supported that, like no matter what. And even the same for me. And that's why I think we've become such good friends over the years, and we stay in such close contact. I mean, could it be better? Yeah, but I mean, we're both super busy, right? We both have. Yeah. We're both professionals in our industry and got a lot going on. And you're trying to start a photography business. I can't wait to see that happen. This is the year for sure.
Yeah, and the year, bro.
We both just have a lot going on. But
yeah, man, that's it, bro. I mean, but like, still, it is a beautiful thing to like, again, like even with distance, right? Like I don't know how far away Wyoming or is from London, Ontario, you know, but like it's just cool, man. It's cool. Like I keep in contact more often with you than some of my really close boys that live right here, freaking 10 or 15 minutes down the road from me. You know, and it's not like I don't love them or anything like that, but you know, like it's just, yeah, it's just effort, right? And yeah, man, it is cool. It's like, talk about a butterfly effect, eh? You know, you know what I mean? Like, talk about a butterfly effect. It's just wild how everything kind of works, right? But hey, man, if you're a hippie like me, then you're a believer in the universe, and everything happens for a reason, man. Everything happens.
Here we go.
So that's it, buddy. That's why we drink kombucha out of what'd you call this thing? A Moscow Mule.
That's what you put a Moscow Mule in, yeah.
I thought this was a kombucha mug. Actually, no. It was funny. Like
kombucha mug.
So when my girlfriend brought this thing out, so my girlfriend loves kombucha, which is awesome. So we start drinking kombucha, and so the first time we had one together, she brings these cups out, and I'm like, "Oh, this is awesome! Like, You got a kombucha mug. And he looks at me like I got a freaking third leg or third arm like growing on my head or something. And he's like, it's a Moscow Mule mug. I'm like, the hell's a Moscow? Fuck's that? Like, I don't know what the hell that. Anyways, it was just funny. So now he was like, hey, apparently everyone knows this is a Moscow Mule mug. And it's funny too, because I was a drinker. I was a drinker, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell that is. I just freaking slammed beers and whiskey. I guess that was my thing.
That was my first like alcoholic beverage that I ever slightly cared for, and that's like my go-to drink. And which is why I like this stuff, the ginger beer in that, and a Moscow Mule, so good. I love anything ginger.
See, I've never actually had a Moscow Mule. I've seen it get made. I was actually at a party. Yeah. I was gonna say it seems like it's kind of like a sweet drink. Like,
well, I mean, they're sweet, like they're awesome, but they're kind of sweet,
yeah. I saw some guy making one. It was pretty neat. He was like, so my buddy recently he had his 30th, so he threw a big banger here. And then one of his buddies is like a bartender. He's like a fancy bartender. So anyways, he was like making a Moscow Mule, and then he had like a vape thing, and he's like vaping, like blowing the smoke into it. And I was like, wow.
Sounds like TikTok in real life, yeah.
Yeah, I was inspired. I want to take some photos of me blowing smoke now. Honestly, that's pretty cool.
You should do it.
Yeah, man.
That's gonna be cool.
I have this vision, so I've got this vision. So it's like, it's gonna be me, but you're not gonna like really notice that it's me. But I want to wear like, I want to be an all like black. Or I was thinking like even maybe just like topless and like black pants with like a nice like pair of black like not sneakers but like dress shoes with like like those dress shoes, and they have like that strap with like the little gold buckle that really does nothing but just looks cool. I want that, right? So I want to be in that and like a Boston ass, like vintage, like mafia boss chair with like a cigar in my mouth and a black top hat. And I want to be kind of like looking down with a cigar in my mouth and that just kind of the smoke coming out. But you can't tell it's me. You can just kind of see the silhouette of my face. Gonna get some like cool white lighting coming in. We'll touch it up on the Lightroom there or Photoshop. And anyways, that's gonna happen. I gotta buy a top hat first. Those things are expensive, bro. Fuck me.
When you do that, I will fly up there and I will get a picture with you in that because I've always wanted one of those.
Yeah, man, right? It'd be so cool. Just Boston, right? How cool would that be? How cool? We gotta do something like that. We're gonna meet up, bring our photos, and we're just gonna take some photos of some cool shit, do some portraits.
That's what we should do.
Other. Yeah, man, 100%. Explore. Yeah.
I'll bring the camera. You can show me what's up. We'll go take some pictures. Have a good time. That'd be fun.
Yeah, man. We can video log it too. Give you some content. Be great.
That'd be cool. All about the content. All about the content.
Oh, you have to be, man. You have to be. You have to be. Bro.
It is weird. I mean, I get on Instagram and I just click with the search button, right? And it's like 18 to 20-year-old, I say kids, but whatever, kids. They're like in the gym having these really cool edits and all these things. And I'm like, how are you guys doing this? Is it literally that easy? Just I record myself and then I hit a few buttons and then I have this awesome edit to this really cool song that hits on the beat. I'm like, how does every kid with a broccoli haircut do this? Is it because they don't have hair? Like, what is going on?
That's like me, bro. I'm catching up, bro. Fuck my hairline. That's why I'm wearing the hat. I gotta hide that shit. I ain't got that broccoli hair no more, bro.
Just embrace it.
Oh, I am. Trust me. I got no option. It's funny. I was flirting with the idea. I'm like, I told Haley, I was like, I don't know. I might need to put that $8,000 and just take a flight to Turkey and never look back. But nah, like freaking camera lenses and shit are too expensive, so I ain't gonna be getting no hair transplant anytime soon. But anyways,
you don't need a hair transplant, dude.
I'm embracing it, bro.
Just embrace it. Shave it off.
I like it. Actually, one time, so one of my clients at work, so we were installing some like high security like fence. She has this like cool like fence compound thing, and she works with the police and whatever. Anyways, pretty cool. But anyway, so. She was like, I was like making jokes about how I'm like, my hair's, yeah, because she's like an older lady, very good looking for her age though. But she was like I think she's like in her 40s or something like that, maybe 50s, but she doesn't look it, bro. She's like a Jennifer Aniston kind of thing. And she was like going on about how like, guys hit on her at the bar. And she's like, sweetie, like I'm probably like your grandma's age or whatever. And then anyways, I started going on about, like, hey, it's at least you're getting hit on. Like, I'm losing my hair. I look older than I am. And she was like, oh, don't worry, sweetie. No matter what any girl tells you, every girl likes a big, fat, bald head. And I was like,
there you go.
All right. Good client.
Embrace
Gave
it.
gave her a discount on that gate she wanted. Actually, no, we actually screwed that gate up like 6 ways a Sunday. It was terrible. But anyways, we got it taken care of for her, so that was good. But
So
yeah,
what are you doing now? Exactly. Like what you were doing engineering, right? Are you still doing that?
No, so it wasn't engineering. So my program, that I think that's where you're thinking that. So my program was called construction management engineering, but I'm not an engineer. I didn't go to university. I always hated school, bro. Like if I really wanted to, I guess I probably could have gone that route, but no, I just wanted to get out and start making money, man. School is just a means to an end for me. So no, so I'm a project manager. So essentially, I I work for most of my experience. I have experience working for general contractors, but most of my experience is with subcontractors. So essentially, we get given we price out a job. If we are awarded the job, we get issued a subcontract. That subcontract comes across the desk onto my lap. I review the subcontract, make sure there's nothing in there that we don't want to get tied to, or if there's any kind of verbiage that we want to change, that kind of thing. Do my review, send it in to usually one of the owners, or if a bigger firm, it'd be like a CEO or general manager or whatever. They take a look through it too, make sure they're in agreement, then they sign off. We execute the contract, and then after that, everything comes to me. So basically, I manage budgets, I manage people, I coordinate material orders. The last company I was with, actually, I had a team of 3 or 4 people working under me. I think effectively we managed that year around in 2020, probably somewhere in around the $60 to $80 million range, which actually in the grand scheme of things for construction is tiny. Some guys manage billions of dollars a year, but they'll have teams of like 100 people under them or whatever, right? But yeah, anyway, so that was pretty cool. So so that's what I do. It's interesting / boring kind of stuff. I don't know. It's nothing too special. But yeah, project management. I think the thing I like most about it is the people management. I'm like you. I'm a people person. I think it was so cool. Like at my last company when I actually had because now the company I'm with now, they're like a little bit of a smaller. Well, I say smaller outfit, but really they're not that small, man. These guys are big, bro. Like these owners are brilliant people, man. Like they've really built quite the enterprise, but we're just a little bit more self-sufficient, I guess. Like we don't have like a massive staff like my last company did, so I don't have a team. It's funny. I say I don't have a team. I actually thought about this the other day. I was like, I don't have a team that I'm managing under me, and then I realized, well, actually, I've got a way bigger team now that I'm managing than I was before. It's just they're not in the office; they're the guys on the field. Like before, at my last company, I was managing the guys in the office, not so much the guys on the field. We had an operations team that did that. This company, we don't have an operations team, so we kind of double duty that. So I went from having, like 3 or 4 guys in the office to 30 field staff. So I guess that's still there, which is kind of cool. I didn't really put that into perspective until the other day. Actually, it was just kind of weird. But anyways, but yeah, I really like that, man. Like it was cool. Like at my last company, I had these 2 young guys right at the end. The one kid was 21 and he's a rock star, man. Let me tell you, that kid's a rock star. And then the other kid, he was a co-op. Actually, he had to be like 18 or 19 years old. And it was just so cool, man. It was so cool watching them go through their strides and falling on their face, and you're there to kind of pick them back up and just support them along the way and like kind of help them and mentor them and understand like, hey man, don't be scared to make these mistakes. Like, this is your opportunity, especially in the business, man. Like it's so cool. Like if you think about it, people are so scared to make a mistake once they go corporate. Once we get into our career, and I was victim of this too. I was so horrified to make a mistake. And then obviously once you start focusing on not making a mistake, what happens? You make a mistake because that's what you're focused on is the mistake, not actually just doing your thing. And then one of my managers told me one day, he was like, "Damn, you got to think about this for a second." He's like, think about it this way. He's like, you went to school, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, okay. And you paid a lot of money to go to school to learn stuff, right? And I was like, yeah. He's like, okay. And if you failed, if you made it, he's like, you were scared to fail because if you failed, that meant to cost you more money because you had to go retake the course or whatever you got to do, right? So he's like, that instills that fear into your mind of making a mistake. He's like, once you get out into the business, he's like, the roles are reversed, bro. He's like, you get to make the mistake and get paid to make the mistake and learn from it. So he's like, you basically, it's not even like you have a bit like an Ivy League like scholarship. It's actually like you're getting that you're in Ivy League and you're getting paid to be there. So I was like, wow, that was really cool. So that was an awesome like perception change for me. So anyway, so I tried to
So
kind of,
good. I've never heard of that one.
yeah, really, really wise. Like that was really insightful wisdom that like I gained. You know what's funny too? That manager, he was like a tough love manager. He was like, there was times where I was like so unsure about myself, because like I was kind of was like in my head about like how he like viewed me and stuff like that. And then when actually I ended up leaving that company, him and I had some really good chats, and like he was pretty sad to see me go. And anyways, it was cool. But yeah, like really, like again, like it was just a cool, yeah, really wise, man. That was a really wise thing to explain to somebody. So, but yeah, man. So that was the coolest part. Like I've tried to read books too about it. Another book I'd actually recommend to you if you haven't. It's a brilliant author. His name's Simon Sinek. You may have heard of him. Yeah, he wrote a book. It's called Leaders Eat Last. That's an amazing book, man. That's an amazing book. If you're getting into a management position or looking to get into a management position, and you're starting to kind of stress out or like kind of try to wrap your head around how to actually manage people, which at the end of the day, if you become a manager, whether or not what like a general manager, whatever it is, whatever like in terms of tier of what it is, the most important part is managing people. That book is like such a great foundation to build off of. And again, the title probably explains itself. Leaders eat last, right? Like take care of your own, establish a good team, establish a positive team, positive mindset amongst the people, and watch it grow. You know, but yeah. So anyways, it's really cool, man. It's like you said, like just getting to manage people and getting to learn the different personalities and it's cool too. Like, you know, some of them, and some people don't like this because they want to separate the business from the personal stuff. But personally, I like it. Like guys I work with, they can open up to me about the crap that's going on in their life, you know, and I can level with them. You know, I like putting myself in people's shoes. You know, I like to be able to show empathy and understand. Okay, wait, yeah, maybe this guy hasn't been that reliable recently, or he's showing up to work late every day. You know, this and that. But yeah, okay, maybe frick, I didn't realize that he's 20 years old and he's got an adopted child that's his daughter, that's his sister because his parents aren't around, and you know, just like stuff like that. Like it's like. You know, and like, yeah, imagine being like, anyways, it's just cool. It's cool to learn that kind of stuff about people. And it really humbles you too, right? Because it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, it really brings that kind of to light where it's like, you, everyone in this world struggles. Everyone in this world faces depression, you know, and whether it's from an extreme case where, you know, maybe your parents got killed or you're getting beaten or whatever the hell it is. Or maybe you come from a good life. Maybe you come from a good life, but for whatever reason, your mind's just not right? And you've got that you're just not confident in yourself or whatever. At the end of the day, it still leads back to that same feeling, you know. And like depression is depression; it feels the same for each other person. It doesn't matter how you got there. But it's cool it's just cool like getting to hear people's stories and like I remember I can't even remember who it was, man, but it was like I don't know if it was I think, you know, I used to, when I was at the gym, I used to listen to like, I'd go on YouTube and I'd be like motivational speeches with like pump up music in the back or whatever. And like this, it was this guy who would be yelling, he'd be like, your struggle is your gift for the world. Your struggle is your gift. Like don't turn away from your struggle. Don't be scared of your struggle. Anyway, so that always stuck with me. Like your struggle truly is your gift to the world, man. Truly is.
Those assumptions that we make about people, like you're saying, they're so dangerous. Mm-hmm. You catch yourself just relating it to, I guess, maybe yourself and comparing them to yourself and what you would do in the situation when it's such an unfair comparison because two completely different situations. You said there could be a child involved. You have no idea, but you're too consumed with XYZ at your job that you're not thinking about that. You're thinking about production or numbers. Like there's so much more to it. And I try to be the same way where people can come talk to me. And that's also like creating buy-in. That's you have long-term, long-lasting employment. You have people that are bought into what you're doing beyond just the money making, beyond just the job, like bought into the team around you and the people around you.
Right.
Is this the same company that you're with now that you were trying to make that one position? I forgot what it was, but it was like a training leadership-ish.
Yeah. No, so that was the company I was with before. So that was an idea I had. I wanted to get like, it never came to fruition. To be honest, I probably should have preached that. I never pitched it. I never ended up pitching that position. I should have, because I actually think it would. I think they would have actually maybe entertained that. Now that I look back at it, because that company, man, they're getting big, bro. Like that company, like the owners of that company, man, like they've expanded in the States. They bought a
Really?
massive ass company, and I don't remember where in the States, but they bought a company with 1,000+ employees in it.
Wow.
Yeah, wild, man. Like, these guys are like, if they're not already, they're on their way to being billionaires. But they started their own, actually, last year or in 2021. They started a new company that's basically just like an asset, like what's the word? A private asset acquisition company. Or private equity acquisition company. So basically, it's like they're just buying companies. If you're looking to liquidate your company,
Yep.
they'll buy it, liquidate it for you, or whatever. Or
PE firms, yep.
taking on, yeah, that kind of stuff, right? So they're like really getting big. They're like way out of just construction now. Like, they're on a way bigger picture. But yeah, that was a cool. I still like that idea. Actually, I recently told my girlfriend about that, and I got inspired from that idea actually from Leaders Eat Last. So it was basically what you're getting at. The position was. I wanted to be in a position where I could almost like be a consultant for companies, and so basically you would put me into a company, and I would do one-on-one interviews, private interviews, with each individual employee, whether they be from at the bottom of the pyramid or at the top of the pyramid, right? I'm going to go through the whole company interview, and it's going to be conversations like this. We're going to get into the personal stuff. It's not really. We're going to talk about the business. What do you like to do? What do you want to do? What do you not like to do? That kind of thing. And then also get into the personal side of things. Like, what motivates you? What gets you out of bed every day? What do you do on the weekends? What do you do when you leave the office at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whatever time it is? What do you do outside of it? What makes you happy? What makes you tick? I basically analyze these people and then kind of like whatever, make a spreadsheet or make my graphs or whatever and see, okay, this person would work really, really well in this division or this department. And if this person was managing this person and this person was working with X, Y, and Z, or these 5 people, we could make this team, and they would be extremely productive with each other because their mindset, their morale, and just the overall way that they conduct themselves, it just synergizes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I got this idea from Leaders Eat Last is because Simon Sinek, in that book, he talks about why is it that the U.S. Navy and the Marines are the SEALs. Actually, he talks mostly about the SEALs. Why are they so effective as a unit together? And it comes down to a point where they're set up in a team of 5 guys, right? And that's the key. It's 5 people. Anything more than 5 can become too problematic. But so that kind of is what stemmed the first initial thought, and the idea is like, okay, because maybe instead of having teams of 30 people or teams of 20 people, maybe that's what you have to do. You just have to condense it to 5, or maybe even 5 to 10, make it more manageable. So there was that, and then there was another really good analogy that he had in that book, where and it applies so well to the modern day, man, so well, especially if anyone else is out there that's in like that corporate scheme and the rat race, so like it's like in North America, whether you're in Canada or US, it runs on this. It's all the same thing. It's a machine, right? Capitalism, it's a machine. And so most companies, most corporates, doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter if they're rated top 20 best employers in North America, it doesn't matter. It's all the same shit. So basically, when you have a business, you got 2 ways to run your business. The most common ways you can run it as a machine, so picture an engine, a vehicle engine, right? So you've got your Ford F-150, and it's running 24/7, just running, chug, 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 chug. You're just getting every little bit you can out of that engine. And when a part finally breaks in that engine because it's had too much, you just rip that part out, throw it in the garbage, and put a new one in, and you just keep freaking running it like it was nothing. So that's one way to run a business. The other way to run a business is you could treat it like a garden. So you can plant your seeds, you can water your seeds every day, you can nurture it. Once the plants start to grow, you can massage the leaves, you can massage the stems. It's going to take you a long time. It's going to take you a damn long time. But eventually that garden is going to bloom and it's going to be beautiful. That's another way to run a business. So basically what you have is when you've got business A, the machine, the engine, and business B, the garden, business A in the short term, it's going to generate you a lot of money in the short term. Business, but long term, it's not, because you're not going to have the longevity through your employees. You're going to have a lot of turnaround rate, right? Because people aren't going to be happy. They're going to get unmotivated. They're going to get depressed, or whatever the hell it is. They're working too many hours, whatever. Or in business B, you're going to have people that are extremely motivated. Their morale is going to be extremely high. They're getting treated well. They're going to feel like they're part of the community. They're going to feel like they're part of the team. And in the long run, when you have people that are working that are happy with what they're doing and happy with the workplace that they're in, naturally your productivity is gonna be through the roof, right?
Yep.
It's just a very, very simple science. So that's anyway. So I kind of married those 2 points together, and that's kind of where that whole idea came from me. It was like, because at the time, in my opinion, the thing that company was suffering from, and again, I got to see it because I was in like a mid-management level. So I was lucky enough that I was getting exposure to some of the top management, but I got a lot of exposure to the bottom. And I also worked my way up the ladder at that company to get to where I was. So I knew what it was like. And that company could have really, really, really benefited, I think, from someone to do that for them. Because it just, again, the turnaround rate was it was like a McDonald's in there, bro. It was like a McDonald's, man. It was like, I almost got to a point where I didn't even want to remember people's names, because I was like, you're not going to be here in another month anyways. It doesn't matter.
Do you think that when you're lining people up and you get this information and you put it into whatever buckets you put it into, do you think it's a good management tool too, to figure out what strategies would be best to manage and coach somebody going through? Like, once you find those things.
100%, man. Like, honestly, when I started managing the team of when I had like 3, I think at the most I ever had was, I think it was just 4 guys underneath me. And
all gone, baby.
I actually gotta go. I gotta go to refill, actually. So when I was managing those guys on my own time, when I was at home, I would on my computer, I kept a list, and like each individual employee I had working under me, I kept a list, and I just wrote stuff down about them. What are they like? What are they not like? What are they good at doing at this company, like in their role? What are they not good at doing in this role? Why are they not good at doing it, or why are they good at it? And then again, I like some of the personal stuff that they liked. I kind of took that down. For example, the one guy, he was really outdoorsy. He loved hunting. He loved fishing. He was really into motocross and like motorbiking and stuff. He's really good. He's really good at it, apparently. I told him I'd go watch him this year and take some photos and videos for him. But anyways, he liked being outside. Okay, put that guy in a site position. So when I kind of restructured how my team worked, I actually ended up taking on more work than I should have as a project manager, just to supplement for this. But I let him spend more time on site. And because I let him spend more time on site, he started learning things like so quick. The crew members, the crew workers, the foremen and the laborers spoke so highly of him. And they did not speak highly of people at that company, man. They did not. Anyways, they loved that kid. And man, he did so freaking well. Like the upper management, they loved him. At one point, my boss, who was at the time he's actually the general manager now, but he was the construction manager at the time. He literally said, "This is the best project coordinator that we have. The very best project coordinator that we have in the office is this kid." And I honestly believe is because I put him. I didn't even put him there. I let him be in the position that he wanted to be in, right? And he still did all of the stuff he had to do on the back end. That kid would stay until 8 or 9 o'clock at night. We would start at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, and we were there because the project we were running was crazy. It was busy, and we were grinding. Me and the co-op, man, same thing, bro. Mind you, he was hourly, right? So he was freaking caking. But man, those guys, man, every day. And it was funny too, because like people used to be like, "Man, why are you still here? Like, why do you stay here so late?" Like none of the other PMs are doing that. I was like, how am I gonna let the 2 guys that are working underneath me freaking work until 9 o'clock at night, and I'm gonna go home at 5:30? Yeah, right, man. I'm gonna stay here too. I'll be right in the trenches with them. I didn't really want to do it. I'd rather live my life, but whatever, man. These 2 guys were grinding. They were trying to make something of themselves, and they're at the early. And I was there too. When I was 21 years old, when I was 19, working at some of these companies, bro, I was working 70, 80 hours a week. Again, same thing. I was hourly, so I was making good dough. And my managers used to. I've been lucky. I've had amazing managers in my life, man. Amazing managers in my life.
And that's probably why you want to do that back. You want to reciprocate that back to
100%.
everybody else.
100%. Because I wouldn't be where I was today without them. The one manager, he's one of my best friends. If I get married, he's going to be up there with me. And he just turned 60 on Friday. He's 30 years older than me. It's crazy. Yeah, man. So yeah, anyways, it was just interesting putting him in that. Like I said, we put him in that position, and he did so well. And then the same with the other kid, the co-op student. He was just really good on the computer, man. Really freaking good on the computer. He liked going out to site. He liked getting out there, so I let him go whenever he needed to. And plus, that's how, like in the construction industry or anything else, that's how you learn. You see things, you're hands on. You know, like you're touching things, you're seeing things move. And like every day you go to the site and something, it's like a river. It's like something's changed, man. It's never the same. Day by day, it's never the same. So you just really start to learn things. So anyways, he did that stuff, but like, man, on the computer, he was really good. And I just let it, like, I didn't micromanage him, you know. I let him do his thing. I had to supplement. I had to do things that they both probably should have been doing that other coordinators were doing, that I just took over on my own, to just make sure, because obviously they still had to get done. But again, then these guys got to go out, they got to do what they wanted to do, and they became assets to the company, major assets. But the one guy actually, the one kid that, not the co-op, but the other kid, he actually left. He got an amazing job with the region that he lives in. Amazing job, man. He's making more money than I am. It's crazy. He's 22 years old, lives at home with his parents. It's crazy. Good for him, though, man. I'm so happy for him.
So here's a question.
Yeah.
If you don't have a manager that can see that and put you into the position that you would excel in, how do you get yourself into that position?
That's a tough one. So one of the hardest things and you'll attest to this. Mm-hmm. One of the hardest things to learn in life, not even just in your career, but in life, is to stick up for yourself. That's an extremely hard thing to do, right? And it's so easy to sell yourself short. It's so easy to just accept the path of least resistance and to just be what you're told. But at some point in your life, you got to kick yourself in the ass and say, no more. I'm not going to be a yes man. I'm not going to be another soldier that just falls in line and gets told what he's going to do, when he's going to do it. No, I have aspirations. I have goals. I'm going to write down my goals. That's the first thing you need to do. If you're in a position like that where if you're working under a manager that just isn't setting things up for you, isn't setting a stepping stone for your career path for you, then shove it down his goddamn throat. Write down your goals, write down your aspirations, hold yourself accountable, and hold him accountable, him or her accountable, to make sure that they're doing what they need to do to get you there. And if they ain't gonna do it, go the fuck around them. And if you're at a company where they're just not gonna see it, I don't give a damn how much money you're making. Get the hell out of there. Get the hell out of there and find someone, because you will find a company that will match your morals. You will find it's the same thing as finding someone to date. Eventually, through trial and error, you're going to find someone that matches your energy. And that person is going to bring out the best in you, and you're going to bring out the best in them, and together you're going to conquer the world. Same thing with the company. It's the exact same thing. So you have to attack it, man. You have to attack it. Like, write down, again, pinpoint your goals, pinpoint what you like to do, and sell it. That's another thing too that people don't understand. Like, especially in a career, you have to view so here's something, because a lot of your viewers probably they can probably coincide with this. We like stocks, right? We like to buy stocks. We like to invest, right? We like to invest our money. We like compounding interest. We like to see our money inflate over time, make us more money, right? Picture yourself as a stock, right? You're a stock. Sell yourself. Sell that stock, right? Continue to invest in yourself. Invest time into yourself. Further sharpen your sword. Get further education. Read books. Watch videos. Talk to people. Network. Talk to people that have been doing the same thing that you've been doing for a long time. Learn from them. That's the best part. Knowledge it's free wisdom, right? Like, it's like, learn from their mistakes so you don't have to make the goddamn mistakes. Or at least if you do make the mistake, you're like, oh shit, like, oh, this guy told me that's a long time ago. It's like, it makes it more relevant. Like, so yeah, people don't sell themselves. That's another big thing. They don't sell themselves. Again, it's that path of least resistance. And human by nature, we're not like, we're bred to go into that, right? That's the way that we're taught in school. You can't question your teacher. From the day you're freaking 1 year, or you're pushed out the womb of your mom, and to the point where you're old enough to start walking. What do we start getting told by our parents? No, don't do that. Don't climb that tree. Don't call your brother an asshole or like whatever. Like, you just hear no, right? So that gets, it's like a brainwash thing, right? Like, it gets indoctrinated to us, right? So we grow up and we get taught how to be a yes man. That's what happens. We get taught to be a yes man, and then eventually, at some point, or some people don't get it. Unfortunately, it is really unfortunate. But at some point in your life, hopefully, you're just gonna have that breaking point where you're like, no, I'm done with this. I'm done with being what people want me to be. I want to be what I want to be. So when you get to that point, reflect, write down what you want to be, both in your personal life and your career or as a business owner, whatever the hell it is, and attack it. And don't settle for less. So yeah, like if you're in a position at a company, like I said, like that's the best thing that you can do. Like so when I left that company, the one guy that I was managing, he struggled a lot because obviously the management styles were a lot different than what I was like in comparison to other people, right? And he started to feel like he was getting bottlenecked in his position, and I gave him the exact same advice, and that's what he did. He didn't take no for an answer. And man, he got the promotions he wanted. He got the raises that he wanted. And it was not it wasn't an easy time for him. I'll tell you that much. There was a lot of hard conversations because the one thing you have to realize is the moment that you stop being a yes man and you concede to being like, no, I'm no longer going to be a sheep. I'm going to be a wolf. I'm going to stick my head above the pack. Well, you're now a target. Yeah. You're now a target, right? Your head's above the pack, right? People want to cut your head off and get you back in line, right? Yeah. But if you stick to your guns, man, any smart business owner is gonna catch on to it and see it, and they'll pull strings on the above and say, no, that kid right there, man, he needs to become something here. I don't want that kid to leave because he got something everyone else doesn't. Exactly, which is a set of fucking cojones on him. Yeah, or her. So yeah, that's the best advice.
I love everything you said, and it all, like you said, it resonates. And being the yes man, it's so easy, especially in society now. It's so easy to be a yes man and just roll over and be like, okay, I'm pissed off. I'm gonna go scroll on Instagram and just see just get my mind off this, or I'm just gonna go home and watch TV, crack them a beer, just whatever. No one wants to face the adversity. No one wants to try to be like, growing up, everyone tells us we can be whatever we want to be in life. Mm-hmm. Cool. Then why aren't you? Like, this is hitting me hard now because I'm going to be a father. And when my son comes into this world and I say, hey, you can be whoever you want to be, I want him to look back and be like, oh, that's actually real because my dad is being whoever he wants to be. Mm-hmm. Like, I have to mm-hmm. lead that life in order for my kid, hopefully plural, kids can lead that mm-hmm. life too. Like, right. You have to face adversity every day. You have to have those hard conversations. You have to stop rolling over and start, barking up mm-hmm. the tree.
That's
Make
right.
your way up it.
That's exactly what it is, man. You got to bark. You got to be a dog, man. You have to be a dog. Like, don't, like, it's like, you ever heard that quote? It's like, do not go quiet into that good night. Rage at the dying of the light. Man, like, honest to God, bro. Like, it's what it is, man. And that's good, man. And like, I love that about you because you're gonna do a great job with that with your kids, man. You're gonna lead by example. I appreciate it. 100% you will. You're gonna lead by example. I'm looking forward to seeing those kids grow up, man.
Well, I gotta get jacked. Tired of being fat.
Get jacked. You've been jacked, bro. You've been jacked. You've been jacked your whole life.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
But the urgency that this gives me to do things now, it's weird. It's weird. Everyone talks about it, but it's one of those things that you talk about, same as what we're doing right now. If you've never put yourself in a tough conversation or a tough situation with somebody to try to get ahead, you will never know what we're talking about. Just try it. Right. Say no to somebody one time and demand what you want or what you think you deserve, and you'll mm-hmm. know. But mm-hmm. the urgency that I'm in now, the state of that is so weird because I have so many things in my head that I want to do. And I've just got to get them all done because I will have less time for that. I'll just have to make more time. Like, I've got to take time from other things that don't matter as much to put into the things that do matter. But I have to accomplish everything I've ever set out to do so that my kids can accomplish everything they can do because they've grown up seeing their mom and their dad live their dreams, do what they say they do, and live their life to the fullest and take them with them. It's all about example. And like, you being that project manager, that is, like you said, taking the extra time to do the work for them so they can actually do what they love to do. Well, at least in that position, right? Like what they will excel with, they will now be better people because of that and pour off into other people. Like it just keeps snowballing out of control. And then you're just changing people's lives.
Yeah,
People you'll never
100%.
meet in your life.
Yeah, 100%. And that's
What
the
an
beautiful
impact.
thing about it. That's the beautiful thing about it, man. It's that passing down of knowledge and wisdom, man. It's one of the most powerful, aside from time, it's one of the most
Mm-hmm.
powerful things that this planet has, you know? Um, it's so important. It's so important. And yeah, like, and again, like in the best way to do it, especially in the family structure is like you said, it's leading by that example, you know? But then there's also the other side of it too, where there's like outside of the goal of hitting your goals, it's also like it comes more to that spiritual aspect too, where it's like you're also, especially for you, and you're going to find this out, and like you're gonna have to guide them, those people too, to like all because I did this and I'm doing this doesn't mean that's going to work for you. You know, like you got to forge your own path. You know, like this is the path, and this is the wake that I left. Right? You can leave the same wake. A wake is a wake. That's fine. You can leave that same wake, but you're not necessarily going to be able to do it by going down the same path that I will. Like, you got to find your own path. You got to come into your own, right? You got to shut off your skin, shut off that ego. Once you realize that, like, I am who I am now is who I'm meant to be. And then once you find out what you're meant to be or what you want to be, like I said, then pave that pathway and move down that road, right? And yeah, man, like the hearts you'll touch down the road, it's just a cool thing. Like I think sometimes people don't realize it. Like you literally by the things that you do and you say, you can save a life without even actually talking to that person. You know what I mean? Like how many times have you read a YouTube comment on like a music video? And maybe it's true, maybe it's not true. But someone post on there, hey man, I just want to let you guys know I love you guys so much. This song saved my life.
Yeah.
You know?
I see that a ton. I've been on a Linkin Park kick so hard right now. Like,
yeah,
that's
probably
all I've been
like where you're
listening
going
to.
to see most of it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but that's also like our generation. Like we grew up with that music. That no one in our generational era doesn't like Linkin Park. Everyone likes Linkin Park because
or at least they know the songs. They can sing along to it, even if they don't like it. They can still sing along to it.
Yeah, they know the words, right?
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I go on these videos, or especially I started listening to Mike, who I'm gonna go and manifest this. He will be on the podcast one day. But he's the rapper, other vocalist of Linkin Park. Yeah, he has some solo stuff, and one of his most recent albums, Post Traumatic something, but that might just be the name of it. He has a song called Over Again, where he just talks about saying goodbye over and over and over again to Chester because he keeps, he lives in this music industry and that's all he does. At least that's my interpretation of the song. But he wrote that or recorded that the day he was going to go do like the Holly Bowl or something like that, a big performance that was a tribute to Chester's life. And they brought in like Jeremy from A Day to Remember. They brought in like MGK, Oldie Sykes from Bring the Horizon, all these people to like perform and be a part of it. And like Linkin Park, this melting pot of music of every type of genre you could think of, brought so many people in, and everyone's watching these videos talking about how these songs had such a huge impact on their life. Numb, In the End, Lying From You, Breaking the Habit, like all these foundational songs. I mean, not to mention that like they just pulled people in. Like Jay-Z did an album with them. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? Well, because the message was there, right? Exactly. At the end of the day, the message is there, and when you have a powerful message, when you have a powerful message, it's powerful, right?
That's what a lot of people miss. That's what a lot of people miss with branding, their business, their management strategy. They miss the message. And that's, I think, when you brought up your bio or whatever for DT Shoots, you know what your brand message is. You know what you want to do. You know what you want to create. As long as you stay true to that, that's all you have to do.
Right.
It will resonate with people.
Yeah.
I saw this other thing. A guy, Dan Coe, I think is his name. He's like a YouTuber or whatever, but I say whatever. He's got quite a few subscribers, and he's a good writer. But he talks about the perfect niche. The perfect niche is you. Like, what do you like? Because there's tons of other people out there like you. If you can focus on yourself and reverse engineer that, create something that you would love, and you'll have business.
Yeah, 100%. Look at a prime example. Look at Joe Rogan. Look at Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Like, as controversial as he is, whether you agree with the things that he says or you don't, that's a guy that just doesn't care. Like that podcast started with him just talking to his comedy buddies, doing what you're doing now, just having conversations with people, right? And look what it stemmed to. Like, he stayed true to himself, right? He preaches his values, he preaches his morals, whether you like it or not. He doesn't really care, right? And he stuck to it. And like, not even just him, like there's so many other people out there that you could pick out that do that, right? Like, it's just funny because it's so simple, but it's the hardest thing to achieve because we get so, like, in here we get so occupied by external thoughts of what other people around you are thinking of you, and like really half the time it's like, man, like when you're at the gym and you're lifting the weights. And like,
there it is.
You're not lifting as heavy as like the guy is beside you, and then you're getting all worked up in your head, and then you're looking at the freaking hot chick next to you, and she's like, oh my god, she's gonna think I'm stupid and dumb because I'm only bench pressing 135 pounds, and buddy over there's lifting 225, and he's gonna think I'm dumb too and weak and useless. It's like, nah, man, they don't even give a shit. They ain't thinking about you worth shit.
No one's looking at you. No one's thinking about you. There's such a small percentage of people that do actually think about you, no, it just doesn't happen.
And if they are, they're weak-minded. They're weak-minded.
Exactly.
And let them think about you. Let them come up with their judgments. But the biggest thing is, don't fill your head with that poison. Don't let that poison spread. Just get rid of it.
That's making you become weak-minded at that point. When you assume someone's perception of you is of that like negative connotation, that they're judging you or whatever, like, you become weak-minded. You've let the enemy win, like, right then and there. You've lost.
Yeah, that's right. And at the end of the day, at that given point, you are the enemy, right?
Yeah.
Like, your perception is your reality. Whether or not that's the reality of everybody else doesn't freaking matter. Your perception is your reality. So fix your goddamn perception and create the reality that you want to live in, right? It's very simple. Yep. But again, it's just it is hard though, man. Like, again, like I say that, and you'll agree with this too. I say that. We say that right now, and every single day, you and I have an internal struggle with that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And I'm glad I do. The moment I get to a point, and I'm assuming it'll never happen, but the moment I come to a point in my life where I don't have that internal struggle anymore, that's when I'll know I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Like severely wrong, right? Because the moment you bottleneck yourself or you cap out the opportunity for growth, you're done. It's over.
The moment you get comfortable.
Exactly. That's the thing, right? And that's perfect to say that too, right? Because we all know, like, being complacent that's a dangerous place, man. It's a dangerous place to be.
Fitness is the foundation, dude. Fitness is the foundation of everything.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I worked out yesterday. I wasn't really feeling it. And I was like, start out with some face pulls, get the upper back warmed up before I started doing some other things. I like look over in the mirror and I'm like, oh, I look tiny today. Like, why did I wear this shirt? And I'm like looking around to be like, damn, that dude's got big arms. That dude's got nice calves. And I'm like, instantly get in my head. I'm like, I better like get a really nice arm pump today. Like, man, like I gotta compete. Like, dude, what am I doing competing with these randos in the gym? They don't know who I am. Even if I try to give them a head nod, they're probably like looking over me. Like, they're not even paying attention to me.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, it's funny. It snowballs so quick. And honestly, and like even the I've obviously been victim to that in the gym a lot. Same thing, like even in work. It's like I remember like coming into the phases when I was a coordinator trying to make my way to a project manager. I was like always comparing myself to people, being like, oh, look at that guy. Like, he looks like he's working really hard. He talks really smart. He's kind of like a dick. And like, he demands respect. And like, I'm a bitch. I'm a little freaking bitch over here. Like, I'm never going to make it in this industry. Like, how the hell? Look at that guy. Look at her. Look what that girl's doing. And meanwhile, it's like, well, I just wasted 30 minutes of my time freaking worrying about what she was doing, what he was doing, and whatever, when I should have just been worrying about what I was doing. And that could have been 30 minutes more freaking ahead.
That's an interesting point, too. because a lot of times these people that when you start into something and you think are you put them on a pedestal of what you think that they're doing. You know, you said they have this, they talk well, they demand respect, which that's a great thing to do, but you don't know all the ins and outs. You don't have the full knowledge either, and a lot of times these people will probably exit the company before you do. Like a lot of times they suck. Like at least what I've noticed, especially when I was coaching people. Everyone had all these crazy, like they overcomplicated it. They try to make themselves sound too smart. They did X, Y, Z to make themselves look like something that they weren't. They just never put in the work. They worked like minimal, just enough to get by, and then got to the point where everyone needed to step it up a level, and they couldn't do it because they had been coaching at this level for so long. But they just got away with it because they have the terminology down. They know what to say. Yeah. They know how to make it look like that they have extreme work ethic. They don't. They leave their Slack on till like 8 p.m. So they have a little green dot. People think they're working. But that's right. No metrics.
Yeah, so, there's a terminology for it. It's called having your job down to a science. Right. Yeah. And like I remember, like I used to always like I thought that was the end goal. That was the end game. Just get my job down to it. And to an extent, it is like there is healthy competition, and there is my whole mindset now, like even in terms of my career, is like I want to, and again I get that I actually a big part of this was inspired from what we were talking about earlier, the 4 hour work week. But I want to be at a position in my life where no matter what it is that I'm doing, whether it's photography, whether it's working, whether it's spending time with family and friends, whatever is productive, whatever is supposed to be productive, I want to be able to maximize my efficiencies in it, but in the least amount of time required. Because as a human being, we only have so much energy in a day, right? Especially for deep focus. Like you're probably limited if you're taking care of yourself, mind, body, and spirit. You're getting the sleep that you need. You're getting the alone time that you need. You're getting the exercise that you need, and whatever. In an optimal setting, if in a human in its optimal setting, sure, we're workhorses, right? Like we can work for 8 or 10 hours in a day, but really you're fine tuned to about deep focus about 4 hours. 4 hours a day into deep productive, like cutting edge performance. After that, you just slowly start to dwindle, right? And I think like probably a lot of people can resonate with that, right? Like it's especially with work. Like I don't know about you, man, but I get in the morning, I have my routine. I get in the morning, I start at 7 a.m. And by I'm luckily for me, I work for some great guys and they believe in like the balance and stuff. So they let me go to the gym at noon. I do my thing, whatever. I'm gone for an hour and a half. But like usually by like that 5th or 6th hour, I just hit a wall, I just hit a wall. But then you start to learn to time manage, right? So you're like, okay, so you know that's what it's going to be like. So I'm just going to use work, for example, because it's the easier one. So my critical tasks, first off, I learned through time management that if you ever have more than 3 critical tasks to do in a day, you're screwed. You'll never get it done. You can only have 3 things. That's it. You can have a to-do list of 5 to 10 things you want to get done in a day. Great. But when you make your to-do list, label the 3 critical tasks that have to get done. If you don't, you're never going to get shit done. But anyways, so it's like, okay, here's my 3 critical tasks. Those are my priority when I get into work. My first 4 hours of my day, I am doing that. I don't care what phone call comes through, unless if it's like an emergency fire that obviously got to deal with. Like obviously that shit happens. It is what it is. But like if someone calls me, hey, I can really use some help on this. I'm like, no, man. No, I got to do this. I really got to get this done. Like I just don't let the external things get in the way of it. Right. But yeah, anyway, so I focus on those things. And then on the tail end of my day, it's like the mundane shit. It's like, okay, I'm going to go check my emails now, or I'm going to freaking print this off or set this thing up, or like the stuff that's like, I don't need to be using my brain like hardcore for, right?
Yeah.
Same thing. Like if I want to go out on a weekend and take photos of stuff, it's like, okay, I'm not going to wait until, well, mind you, I guess for photography sometimes it's different because different lighting situations, obviously golden hour is like your time to shine. But like, no, it's like If I want to go out and I want to do wildlife, I get my damn ass up at 4 a.m. in the morning, and I'm going out there for freaking 5, and I'm sitting my ass down for 4 hours, and I'm focused, purely focused. And then I'll notice it too. Once I hit that peak, it's like, okay, I'm getting restless now. My brain's on like what I want to eat for lunch. What am I going to do for the rest of the day? What's my girlfriend doing? What are my friends doing, or whatever? And then when you start to realize that's like, okay, yeah, all right, my focus is done. It's like, okay, and that's fine. That's fine. It's like, okay, time to release. It's like, okay, go back. Let's freaking get some grub into me and figure out the rest of my day, sort of thing, right? So, yeah, like time management is such an important tool for both like business, career, and like just your personal life. Like it's so important. Actually, I want to take like, I don't even know if there would be anymore, but like I want to take like courses on it. I actually want to take like time management courses. That's like one thing I always strive to be better at, is like how can I effectively manage my time? You know, like it's just funny, like looking back, like again, it's like time is just like, it's just so important, and it's so limited. It's so finite, and we don't like think about it until time's pass and you look back on it. You're like, oh shit, like I just played Guild Wars for 8 hours yesterday. You know, like,
yeah.
So,
and it's weird because I don't, like, gaming will always have a serious place in my heart. It's a foundation of who I am, and it's helped me with my communication ability, critical thinking. I mean, hand-eye coordination. I can pop some headshots off in Counter-Strike no matter what time of day it is. But it always just ends up leaving me. It's a bittersweet feeling. If I play for like an hour every now and then, like one game of CS, I'm like, okay, this is cool. But if I go back to like those days of how I love to do it, oh man, yeah, you're sitting there you make your breakfast, you sit down, you forget to eat lunch. Maybe your boys are on Discord, like, hey, let's go get lunch. And you go do that, and you come back and play for another 5-6 hours, and you're like, oh man, had a good day in the game. And then like you look down at your phone, look at the time, it's like 8 or 9 p.m. What have I done today? Oh, I haven't done anything. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It just, it's not the same. We've gotten older. We now have responsibilities. It's different.
Yeah, it's different.
I wouldn't trade anything for the world. I mean, I probably would have done a little bit more skill wise, learning a few things when I was younger. But
yeah. Hindsight's always 20/20 though.
Yeah.
20/20.
But man,
I always say it all the time, man. This is controversial. I understand, but if I could go back and do it all again, I wouldn't even have gone to high school. I would have started working full time. From the day I turned 15 years old and it was legal age, I would have worked my ass full time. Bought my first house at the age of 18, rented it out, sat on that for a couple of years while I lived with my mom and dad. Kept making money. Take the equity of that house, buy another house. Boom.
Yep.
23 years old, you got 2 houses. 21 years old, you got 3 houses. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like sky's the limit at that point. But I mean,
yeah. But
I don't have any regrets either, though. To be honest, I don't. Like I get what you're saying. It's like, yeah, we spent, like, there's so many things that we wasted our time with, right? Like not even just like, fuck, man, like not even just about like gaming, like what about chicks, you know, or
doing
just whatever, just doing stupid shit, like going to the bar, getting shit faced drunk, and freaking fist pumping all night long. You know what I mean? Like I could have been doing other things too, but it's like, you know. But at the end of the day, it still brought me to where I am today, and I've learned to be happy with where I'm at. You know, I've learned to stop comparing myself with everywhere with the Andrew Tates of the world. You know, just be in that kind of moment and understand that I am where I am because I'm supposed to be where I am. And now it's like more of like, okay, like again, you earn your stripes, you learn your lessons, and like, okay, now it's just time to plan. Let's plan. Let's focus. Let's choose the points we want to get to, and let's execute. Right?
There's a fine line. There's a fine line of chasing the money because that starts feeling the same way, like as a gaming. Like gaming, you're like, oh, I spent a bunch of time. Like I had fun, but I had no gain really of any sort. Right? When you chase money, you're like, oh, I got this monetary gain, but I mean, maybe some of this has been fun, but I've missed the other 90% of what's going on. And it just doesn't really add up. And there is just a fine line, I think, between the two of where you try to weave it. And I don't think it's just constant. Nothing's constant, but it's the thing I kind of subscribe to is balancing. You're never in balance. You'll never find balance. So start balancing, see what needs more time right now. and then start allocating time as necessary to make it make sense for you and to keep growing.
Yeah, man, that's so powerful because like it's all situational, man. It's all situational. Like the Chris right now isn't going to be in the same position in the same Chris 5 years from now, and if he is, you're doing something severely wrong. Right? So I suggest you freaking do some self-reflection, right? So it's like, it's like maybe like so. For example, maybe right now you got a lot of time, so you can spend on the podcast. You can work a little bit more, you know. And if you have a side gig going on, you can put some extra time into that. But another 5 months, maybe even less. I don't know how far along your girl is, but like that ain't going to be the same anymore. Right now, you're going to have to rebalance. So you're like, okay, so what's important? Okay, my podcast is important. This is my passion. This is what keeps me happy. I got to keep that going. So you're going to set the time. Or you're going to keep time for that. Obviously, work's important because you got to freaking provide and put food on the table, right? So that's going to have to stick. Obviously, the gym, because if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of no one else. So that's going to have to stick. And your kids and your wife, right? So yeah, maybe now it's like all of a sudden, maybe you had an hour or two each week to play video games. All of a sudden, you don't anymore, you know? Or maybe you had an hour or two, or you were going out and hanging out with your buddies and chilling in the basement and listening to music and smoking dope and whatever, and just freaking talking about the good times. All of a sudden, well, fuck, I can't do that anymore either. I guess I gotta spend 2 hours on my kid teaching him how to read instead, or ride a bike. You know, so it's like
the important stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all situational, right? And then as you grow and as different things come and pass through your life, you have to learn to adapt to that, right? 100%. It's like the I always like I'm a bit, again, like I said, I'm a bit of a hippie. I like the whole like Buddhism approach to life, and like they always say, like life is like a river. It's a never flowing river, and a river always changes. A river never stays the same. And so you have like one of two options. You can try to swim up the river, which is like futile. You're never going to win. Or you can just flow down the river and learn to adapt with that river and change with that river and balance with that river. But understand that you balance on this end, on this bend, and then you're going to go straight for a bit. And then all of a sudden you were bending to the right. Now you're bending to the left. Right. And so you're going to have to adapt to that and change, go with that change and flow with that. So
life's all about adaptation.
Yeah.
And that's the other point. Like if you're not adapting, you're not growing. If you're not putting yourself in a position that you have to adapt, you're screwed. Again, you've lost right there.
Yeah, exactly. I remember I was talking to someone recently, and she was just like venting to me about her, like, which is just some shit she's going through or whatever. And like, she was going on about how, like, you know, like I feel like I'm just so lost right now, you know, and like I don't know what to do and this and that. And I was like, honestly, God, if you ever in your life feel like you're lost, you're in the right spot. You know what I mean? Like that's a good thing. You know, that's actually a good thing.
That's groundbreaking territory.
Yeah, and again, like if you ever feel in your life that you're in the right, like you're in the right place and you're exactly where you should be, again, that's a good thing too. But like that's a sign to say, okay,
dangerous.
Time. Yeah, that's the time where you can also say, okay, yeah, it's great. I'm exactly where I thought I should and where I want it to be. Okay, now what can I do to get? What can I do to get better? How do I get better from this? Right. So what do? You get lost again. It's the best way. It's like there's like a thing I was watching and it was like, what's the best way to figure stuff out? You just fuck around. When you fuck around, you figure things out, right? It's like it's so true, right? It's so true. Love it. And plus, that's like my favorite word. So,
well, dude, we need to wrap this up. It's pushing a little over an hour and a half, but I always love talking to you, and need to do this again very soon.
Yeah, man, anytime. This is amazing what you're doing. Everything that you're doing here, this is amazing, man. I think you're gonna have a big outreach with this, and I think you're gonna touch people, man. And I know that's what you're out to do. You just want to touch people and motivate people, and you want to level with people and kind of help them along the way, and hopefully they can listen to some of your content and figure stuff out on their own. I know that's what you're trying to do, and that's what you've grown up doing with your mentors. I think it's cool, man. I think it's really cool. You've set up like this like online platform for yourself to mentor the masses. And I think if you stick to this, man, like you're gonna you're gonna be amazed at what you're gonna achieve. Honestly, dude, I'm happy you're doing this, man.
Well, I
Really
appreciate
am.
it. It's fun. I mean, it's
Yeah.
something I've wanted to do for a long time, and now I'm finally doing it. Like, it's so funny. I haven't really told many people this, but that first episode that I did with my buddy Tyler, well, our buddy Tyler, I should say, was a day I found out. Well, next day, I found out we were, expecting. Oh man, I didn't sleep that night at all. Like, I was like, oh wow, like this is happening. Like, this is happening. Like, okay, I'm done being complacent. What is the thing I can do right now? Like, I have these goals. Like you said, write out your goals. I have this list of everything I want to do, right? Like, what can I do in this list right now that will put me ahead of something I've been wanting to do? I'll record episode 1. I call Tyler, like, bro, we got to record this. Like, let's do this right now. Like, you tell me what coffee I need to get from Starbucks. We're going to get it rolling. I'm getting this started. He's like, all right, I'll be home from work in a minute, man. Let's do it. It's like, perfect. And that first action has now led into me doing this with you, talking to a lot of people, having some really great conversations, even cooler outreach. Oh, excuse me, and continue.
You gotta keep a water bottle with you, bro. You gotta keep some
I know,
water
I'm
with
out of
you.
kombucha.
I know that kombucha.
Yeah, but it's continued outreach, and I will be honest, the person I am whenever I'm talking on this is not exactly the person I am normally, because I have this camera turned on, have this microphone, and I'm just constantly thinking that judgment thing, right? Where, oh, like, what are people going to think if I scratch my eye because my eye's really itching and I really need to touch it, Or what are they going to think about anything I'm doing? And I get in my head about it. I'm like, why am I doing that? If they, who cares? If someone's watching this and they don't like it, don't watch it. But if you're going to keep watching it, thanks. I want to get monetized one day, so I appreciate it.
yeah, exactly. Thanks for the support. Love you.
Yeah, it's so crazy how cool this thing has been, and how it follows suit with who I am too.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, we'll get some people from ArenaNet on here soon. I'm looking forward to that. I've been talking to a few people.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, man. This is your niche, bro. This is your niche. And before we go, I meant to bring this up earlier. I forgot. I told Haley I was going to tell you. I don't know if I'm really big into journaling. That's like been something I picked up on in the last couple of years. I journal. So
where's mine at?
This year, especially.
Oh, I don't have mine with me. Mine's in my bag in the living room.
Yeah, I got mine here. But today I wrote. So this year I put a focus on I wasn't doing this before. But every day now I'm writing down my three gratitude, 3 things I'm grateful for. So I thought I would share my third one with you today. And so today my three gratitudes was music, the light of day, and the third one was the internet. And the reason why I put the internet was because without it I wouldn't have met you, bro. So
it makes me emotional, bro.
This is happening, man.
Makes me emotional.
I love you, buddy. I love what you're doing. This is fucking amazing. I can't wait to be honest again. I can't wait to see this grow. I'm going to keep staying tuned and watching all the content you put out. And like I'm telling you, man, if you stay consistent with this, sky's the limit, man. Honest to God, sky's the limit.
Hype for a diaper,
can't wait to
baby.
see it. That's it, buddy. Hype for a diaper. Hype for a diaper.
Right,
by any means.
By any means. Oh, yeah.
That's it. Represent.
Oh, man. I'll talk to you soon, bro. Thanks so much.
Yeah, man. Yeah, have a good
Peace.
one, buddy. We'll talk soon. Ciao.